Welcome to Dialogue. Well, Your Crazy English enjoyed, I should say, unprecedented popularity among English learners in China in recent years. Is it still enjoying the same popularity as before?
I think so, because there are over 450 million people, Chinese people learning English now. So far in the past 10 years, I've talked directly to over maybe 30 million people. So still many people are waiting to see me.
But what I learned is that the craze for crazy English has died down a little bit recently.
Oh, died down maybe in Beijing, because that's something I worried about, because the craze of crazy English is associated with me, with my presence. I have to be there. So that's what I'm doing now to change this phenomenon. I have to make crazy English a real business, not a personal. Seems like my personal hobby.
What do you do actually, when you are lecturing or teaching your English students?
Yeah, mostly I just talk to them about how I learned English and try to tell them why after 10 or 20 years of hard study or hard struggle, they still cannot speak English. I try to explain to them how this happened, and I try to tell them the solution. So actually I tell them that learning English is no big deal. You just open your mouth. Just try to speak as much as possible. You cannot join many lectures, because so many lectures in China telling people how to study English. I have a friend who attended almost 100 of these kind of lectures, but still speak terrible English. I said, the only way to speak good English is try to speak as often as possible. Try to enjoy, try to make a lot of mistakes. Try to be laughed by a lot of people. Only through this way you can finally conquer the awkward, function of your mouth. Because according to my theory, I think speaking English is physical work. You have to work physically.
But are you trying to mislead the English learners by paying attention to your mouth movement rather than paying attention to those basic things like phonetic symbols, vocabulary, and grammar?
I have to say that I'm not misleading them. Actually, I'm trying to lead them to the right way, because in their experience of studying English, they pay too much attention to grammar, too much attention to only to grammar. I don't think they pay enough attention to their pronunciation. They always try to memorize words. They try to compare to each other. Hey, how many words can you memorize one day without being able to use them? So what I'm trying to do now is try to tell them it's okay to pay attention to your grammar and basic things, basic training, but you have to speak it. So actually the message I'm trying to get across is very easy. Just to try to speak English loudly.
Open your mouth.
Yeah, that's it.
If you say that it's very simple, you just need to open your mouth.
Yes.
So this notion is not new.
It's not new.
Why did you succeed? Why not?
Yeah, that's a very good question. The concept I've been promoting the past 10 years are not new. Probably 100 years old, maybe 200 years old. I don't know. So, but I constantly promoting it. I think why I stand out is because I keep on doing it for the past 10 years. Maybe that's the reason.
Perhaps you give a right name to the...
maybe right name, but this name caused me a lot of trouble 5 years ago, even 5 or 4 years ago. That's crazy. How can you study a language crazily? Well, professors from universities, from from my hometown, the place where I work now, Guangzhou, they say, hey, you have to be reasonable if you want to speak good English.
They criticize you. They criticize your so-called crazy English.
Yeah, they say, hey, crazy English. You're joking. I've been studying English or teaching English for the past 20 or 30 years, and I've been very reasonable. How can you speak good English in a crazy way? But what I mean by crazy is 100% devotion. You have to be totally devoted to what you're doing.
Devote your emotion.
Yeah, emotion, everything. Your energy, your time, your emotion. Forget about yourself. Forget about your environment.
What are the major differences between your crazy English and the traditional way of learning and teaching English colleges?
Yeah, the major difference is I overemphasize, probably, I overemphasize the importance of speaking. So I give a name, blurt out, 脱口而出, blurt out. I say, if you only can, can read, if you only can just understand, that's far from enough. You have to actually blurt it out. Only when you blurt it out, you can actually feel the language. Just like if you want to be a good dancer, you have to dance. Only when you're on the dancing floor, you can feel the rhythm of dancing. You can feel the excitement of dancing. So that's why, that's a major difference. I emphasize on speaking, but speaking with correct grammar and good vocabulary. So I combine memorizing words and learning grammar, all these things into speaking.
You think
Yeah.
Crazy English is a shortcut to English learning?
I'd say you save time. You are more efficient if you study in this way. I don't think it's a shortcut because a lot of people are against shortcuts. A lot of people are dreaming about shortcuts. Shortcuts have two side stories. So what I want to say that I just want to help people to be more efficient. That's it.
Well, how did you react to those criticism from those professors?
Oh yeah, I reacted in a terrible way when I was young.
Now?
Now I think that I really feel grateful. Appreciate. In the past 10 years, I think I'm now becoming more and more mature. I accepted all kind of criticism in a very constructive way, because I think that they're doing it for my own good. I can learn a lot of things from their criticism. I try to make Crazy English system perfect by correcting my mistakes. So, and also I learned that almost everyone in China, almost everyone in the world, they're facing criticism every day. So you have to learn to face it in the right way.
Well, how did you come up with such an idea of Crazy English? Does it have something to do with your own experience?
Oh yeah, exactly. So when I was, because I grew up in Xinjiang, and when I got into university in 1986, I don't know why I studied English. I don't know why. I couldn't speak a single word, and I just, concentrated on passing examinations.
You were not a good student then.
I was a terrible student because I was from Xinjiang. In my hometown, I don't think that we know why we studied English at that time, about 20 years ago. So when I got into university, there's something happened that forced me to think. Foreign professors came to my university to give lectures. My professors couldn't find a qualified interpreter. The lecture was about mechanical engineering, my major. So it was difficult. They asked many students, hey, who want to volunteer to be an interpreter? No one can at that time. So, and also, I interviewed my classmates. I said, hey, why? Why do you study English? My classmates said, I don't know. It's a subject. We have to pass it. Band 4, 4级, we have to pass it. So they don't know the reason. So at that time, I began to think, hey, what's going on? What I can do to change the situation. So that's how I started to build up my Crazy English system.
It also had something to do with your own character.
Oh yeah, the character still, what is that called? Introvert?
Yeah,
introvert, and feel bad about myself.
Yeah,
自卑.
feel yourself inferior.
Yeah, inferior. I think that this is caused by my early childhood education. My parents scolded me all the time. My parents told me all the time. I remember one word. I don't know, what is it? Bomb or trash? 垃圾, useless, good for nothing. But still in my mind.
So it was that desire to try to overcome your own, psychological barrier.
Right.
That you come up with this solution.
Yeah. And I began to think what I could do. Instead of sitting in the classroom and, doing multiple choices, and I went out to the open air. I began to yell. The reason I yell, not because I was crazy, because only through yelling I found that I have a lot of energy in my body. Only through yelling that I can neglect, other people. So through months of yelling, I found a new self.
我觉得学习英语的话，一个是要找到适合自己的方法。那李阳的话，我觉得最关键学习英语其实有很多的方法，但是李阳他有一种就是一种信念，教你把英语嘴打开，然后那种信念、那种学习那种不放弃的感觉，让你更喜欢。比如说我在家里很夸张学，面对老外的时候有点害羞或者是胆小的时候，可能慢慢就收敛了。
中国人学外语就是感觉比较死板，是觉得李阳把那个疯狂英语就是完全就是比较放松的时候说口语，所以就是这样在说。
对于我来说可能是效果不大，但是因为也经常看电视，可能也看好多人其实学了这个，感觉好像他们的效果是挺好的，也能就是疯狂的脱口而出，我倒是挺羡慕他们，但是自己一直就是没有想通过这种方式来提高英语。我觉得中国人学英语应该是在于积累，我觉得他这个都好像是很大一部分是属于速成的那样的，我觉得，但是我觉得好像，我觉得还是应该在于积累吧。
像他这种发音啊，这种说呀，然后这种包括他一些句型啊什么的，这种应用的都很，就是说挺实用的。
因为我没有完全的去学习它，但我看过一些片段，我觉得它的局限性可能就是书写能力或者其他方面会差一些。
When did you start to, have the idea that you can make money from Crazy English?
And I always want to be a businessman.
You do?
Yeah, because, only, through being a businessman, you can make your dream big. You can, help more people. And through helping more people, you make more money.
Money can do
Through
it.
making more money, you can do more things. So I'm never against money. I'm never against the business. I think what we should worry about is China lack qualified business people.
Do you think so?
Yeah, sure. We have a lot of business people, but they're not real business people. They run the business for a couple of years and disappear. I'm happy that Crazy English has been there for 10 years. I don't know when it's going to die out, but I will keep on trying to make it better.
You want to make it into a name brand company,
Yeah.
like McDonald's and Coca-Cola.
Right, exactly. Now Crazy English is one of the most famous brands in Japan and Korea and Singapore, and also Taiwan, Hong Kong. And but I have to tell you that actually in the past few months I'm trying to sell my company.
You're trying to sell your company.
Yeah, I'm trying to just.
Why?
I feel so
You're not confident?
helpless and powerless in running it because that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in is making.
You just now you said that you're interested in making money.
No, I'm not. I'm interested
doing
in
business.
Yeah, doing business. Making money has some negative meaning in it. So I'm interested in making Crazy English big. I'm interested in helping more people or have more people knowing this method.
Well, since Crazy English has such a close relationship with you personally,
Yeah.
if you quit, well, can the Crazy English continue?
Right, that's another challenge. But I think that in the past 10 years, Crazy English gradually, I think, become more and more systematic, and my face will become a logo or become just a symbol or spiritual stuff in this company.
Okay, like KFC.
Exactly, like KFC.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to withdraw. I have to. This is the right time.
You want to get back to your life?
R&D, research and development. I'm interested in still studying how to teach and learn foreign languages. That's I'm crazy about it. I'm very passionate about this field.
You had a quite interesting relationship or story with a man called Deng Liangping, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Well, tell us about your story. with him.
Well, this is I never tell the story in English. And I think Deng Liangping is a real businessman. I admire him for this. Great businessman. So whenever I think about this history, the past history, I feel so bad about myself. I make Crazy English such a famous brand, all over China, even internationally. But a man who is behind me, I really, is really making money. Is really making the most use of this brand. Is really taking advantage of this brand. That's good. So I used to hate him. I say 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, say, and whenever I give a lecture, say, hey, don't buy the Crazy English published by that guy. That guy is stealing my name, he's using my name. It's da 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 da. But now I say, that's okay. If I cannot do it, why can other people do it? If I'm so stupid in this area, in this business area, I think I have no one to blame but myself.
You learn lessons from this?
I learn lessons from this, but I cannot change this. Because, businessman takes years of training and takes a lot of, talent. You need to be talented in doing business.
Instinct.
Yeah, instinct. I don't think I have that. I don't think I have enough of that.
I think you have. Because to me, you are very good at promoting or marketing yourself. You appear on TV or in the media very often.
Yeah, but I have to say, I've become the interesting person. A lot of people are interested in my story. That's why I appear on TV all over China. I went to South Korea or Japan, and I was on TV in all channels. I don't think I deliberately, managed this. It just happened because you're an interesting guy. A lot of people are interested in your story. So that's why you're on TV.
I read about your story that you once changed the color of your hair.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, well, that's during my trip to South Korea, because the local company think that if I change the hair, change the color of my hair, can be more, probably I will become more popular. I can attract young people in South Korea. But I think that also because at that time, about 3 years ago, I asked, my friends in Korea, I say, any English teacher here, has ever doubted he's here? He said, none. You're going to be the first one. So this is something I'm scared. So that's why I try to do it.
You want to...
I want to challenge myself first.
To challenge yourself, to be a kind of rebellious.
You're rebellious also. That's a situation in South Korea.
How was you received in South Korea?
It's crazy. So that's why
they were crazy about you.
Yeah, people are crazier about me in Korea than in China, because I'd say they have more passion for English, because English is so useful. English is directly associated with money, with your career. That's why people are crazier in South Korea than in China. And also that was kind of a phenomenon. The people, Chinese people in South Korea say, hey, how can Korean people crazy about Chinese guy, a Chinese English teacher? So I was wondering about that too. But it was extremely successful. That's why I was appointed as a kind of ambassador for 2002 World Cup. I'm an ambassador for this World Cup.
Do you think that your Crazy English is suitable for any people of any race?
I don't know. Maybe I should try it out. But a basic concept of Crazy English, I think they're scientific and they're worth trying.
You also have a very ambitious plan that you expanded your Crazy English, at least the method, into learning Chinese.
Oh, exactly, right.
And eventually you want to, introduce Chinese culture to the world.
Yeah.
It sounds like a very lofty aim.
Yeah, it's kind of, unreachable or strange. The crazy, my another, slogan, I have a lot of slogans of crazy business is, try to help 300 million foreigners speak Chinese. Because I had, since I think 1999, I started trying to teach Chinese using crazy way, yelling Chinese sentences and telling stories about Chinese characters. It was very successful. So that I really want to expand this into every corner of the world. This is a huge, huge plan, and many companies are interested in this. So we now form a kind of joint venture to do this.
Okay. How do you describe the market of English learning in China? Because millions and millions
Yeah.
of Chinese they want to improve their English, especially after China's accession into the WTO and Beijing's winning of the bid of the 2008 Olympics.
Right. I know how to say. I have to say that I contributed to this craze, to this passion, to this kind of overheated, stuff. Because when I started to promote English at that time in Chinese market, I don't think there's very few competitors. Maybe only Xin Dongfang, Oriental. Maybe I started to promote Crazy English in 1988. And now in Beijing, whenever you read a newspaper, you can hundreds of training centers. A lot of overseas students, a lot of students who study in America, Stanford University, major management. They could find a great job in Wall Street. But they came back to China to teach English. Such a lucrative market.
Right.
Yeah. So many reporters came up to me, say, Li Yang, please comment on this situation. I say, I was crazy. I am crazy. I'm still crazy tomorrow. But I'm not interested in market. I'm interested in my method. If my method is good, I think a lot of people will use this method to study English. I never worry about competitors. Who is my competitor? Who is going to drive you out of the market? I don't care about that. I'm extremely confident about myself. So, if I have to say one thing about this market, it's an overheated market. But it happened all the time in Chinese history. Like a TV, like a mobile phone, like English training, everything. Whatever happened in China, it always become overheated. So I don't know why.
Talking about language environment, what do you think that in 2008, when Beijing, hosts the Olympics, what do you think the language environment in Beijing will be?
I'm a kind of a consultant of Beijing government regarding this area. So I have to say that I have seen great progress in the past 2 years. The Beijing Speaks English office, Beijing, I don't know, is that Beijing 说英语办公室 office, they're every year they tried in many different ways to create this kind of environment. It's going on very well. And I firmly believe that in 2008 there will be a lot of Beijing people speaking English. Their goal is 5 million Beijing people can converse or can have us carry a simple conversation in English. And also with English TV and newspaper, all of this will further quicken the pace.
Okay, your Crazy English is also helping to create such kind of...
Yeah, we're trying. We're just one of the forces. So we're trying our best to add something to this trend.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. And that's it for this edition of Dialogue. Thank you for joining us. I'm Yang Ching.